we're putting this to use in the real world. Yeah. So that truck's clocking it at 82. That's weighing 82,000 pounds. And when you see that pass shot again, you'll notice that speedometer is climbing. We're going 6% and accelerating up that grade.
Some people out there say it can't be done. I don't know who might say that, but I've heard rumors. So we just did it. Yeah.
Well, it's official, ladies and gentlemen. Tesla has delivered their first real truck, and it is definitely not a pusher. If you don't understand the reference, I'm sure someone will explain in the comments below. Now, this is a huge moment for Tesla, in particular for their mission. I'm going to run through some highlights, a few notes that I took. I'll play a few clips from the event in the background as well, so definitely worth watching this on video if you're normally an audio-only listener. And before we dive into this, don't forget, if you're not a member on Patreon, you're missing out on a ton of exclusive content. Well past 230 exclusive videos and counting. Been uploading daily for the last month or two. Plus you get access to my Tesla price targets and optional access to my valuation model as well. If you're interested, you can join with the card in the corner or the link in the pinned comment. So let's run through these highlights. Elon opened up pointing out the Tesla Semi was originally unveiled back in 2017, 5 years ago, and obviously a lot has happened since, not just with Tesla, but globally. So why build a Semi? Semis represent a small number of units sold in the US. For example, around 15 million passenger vehicles are sold per year, and a few 100,000 semis. But semis account for 20% of US vehicle emissions. So 1% of the fleet accounting for about 20% of emissions. Clearly, if Tesla's goal is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy, these commercial vehicles are a must. They get an outsized impact. In addition, semis actually account for about 30% of particulate emissions. Now, if you're not really sure what that means, you don't want to be breathing that shit in. It ain't good for you. So this will also positively impact people's health. Elon pointing out, quote, "It's quite unhealthy to be living near a highway with diesel trucks, FYI," and he's really right. For those that don't know, back in my real estate investing days, I got very interested in stuff. One of the major things that I avoided was buying anything anywhere close to a major road for two reasons. One, noise, and two, air pollution. In Brisbane, for example, where I own a house/development site, they have overlays explicitly highlighting this home is located in a situation with shit air quality and terrible noise pollution because it's too close to a highway. And the main culprits, of course, are diesel trucks. So this is huge. So Elon points out that in addition to helping with climate change, global warming, it will be quiet and improve air quality and improve health for people living near highways. Tesla also showed their product roadmap, pointing out a luxury/SUV range, mid-size vehicle, commercial vehicle, that would be the Tesla Semi, maybe a van later, pickup truck, and the dedicated robotaxi platform. So Tesla with a massive, huge tick from their 2016 master plan. In addition to climate change and global warming, Elon Musk pointing out the obvious that the Tesla Semi looks sick, and also it's like driving a Tesla. Literally referring to the torque, acceleration, etc. So it's fun and it looks awesome. And also, there is a big shortage of truck drivers. I mean, it's a terrible fucking job. I know a few people in family, extended family, that do this for a living. Aside from the danger, you're on the road all the time, shit health, lack of exercise, terrible food options. It is not fun. I wouldn't do it, no matter how much you paid me. So I understand why there's a shortage of drivers. So Elon pointing out, if you're a truck driver and want the most badass truck on the road, this is it. Quote, "This thing has crazy power relative to a diesel truck. Without a load, it looks like an elephant moving like a cheetah. It's fast to accelerate, fast to brake. It's a step change." It's important to understand this, by the way. Why would fast acceleration really matter with one of these trucks? Well, let's think about it. Time is lost accelerating from a standing stop up to maximum highway speed. It takes an absurdly long time for a typical diesel truck to actually get up to speed. So you're losing a lot of speed. The less time you're traveling below the maximum speed, the more time you're wasting. And then, of course, there's going up an incline as well. We see a clip in this in the background. Tesla Semi flying uphill, accelerating past another truck. Anyone ever been stuck behind a slow truck on a highway ever, going up a hill? Oh, you have? Yeah. Not only is it annoying as fuck, but again, the driver of that truck is wasting time. The Tesla Semi has 3 times the power of any diesel truck on the road. This thing is an absolute fucking beast. Now, importantly, bit of a bombshell on this one. We were told that this thing can do 500 miles on a single charge via 1,000 volt powertrain. And we were told, quote, "Don't worry, there'll be some more vehicles coming with that," as in that same 1,000 volt powertrain, as in insanely fast charging. We'll get to exactly what that vehicle or vehicles may be a little bit later. Also, Tesla pointing out their leverage, having a huge fleet and technology out there. Cumulatively, about 50.9 billion, yes, billion with a B, drive unit miles driven. Tesla vehicles have done over 50 billion miles globally. Over 3.2 million infotainment systems delivered. By the way, if you guys can't do math, that means that there's 3.2 million plus Tesla vehicles on roads. Very simple. 1.5 billion heat pump system operational hours and over 1.4 terawatts of power deployed. The truck has also been through hardcore testing. Obviously, it's necessary. I mean, Tesla will be using their Tesla semis in their own fleet, ASAP, obviously. And they're not just doing this because of their mission, but because it makes economic sense as well. And it can accelerate the data collection product improvement flywheel. We also learned that the Tesla Semi has a tri-motor powertrain, is in 3 motors, using what is essentially the Model S and X Plaid powertrain, the alien technology. There's 1 highway efficiency unit and 2 torque units that automatically kick in and overlap with the efficiency unit as needed. So it's a seamless experience for the driver. There's no shifting. They don't know what the fuck's going on. Just you punch the accelerator, these extra motors kick in as needed, and they drop off when they're not needed, meaning much more economical and energy efficient. Now, insanely, and I mean insanely, the highway efficiency unit, which is driving the truck, powering the truck, or the semi, whatever you want to call it, most of the time, pulling 82,000 pounds at cruise speed. It's just a single tiny motor on 1 axle, about the size of a football. You can literally carry this thing, the motor, that pulls a fucking 82,000 pound monstrosity along a highway in your hands. You can throw it in a backpack if you wanted. I mean, that really is power density. This is insane. Just think about that. As they said, try doing that with a diesel engine. Of course, Tesla showed the insane demo of Donna passing at a 6% incline and accelerating up the grade meaning hill. Just bananas to see that in action. Quote, "It's like driving a normal car, not a truck. It's just you're pulling 80,000 pounds. And a big important thing that a lot of people, if you're not in the trucking industry, may not really be aware of or care about, regenerative braking. The Tesla Semi enables regenerative braking downhill. So there's no shifting gears up and down grades, which is a big deal for truck drivers. It's much safer for everybody on the road. And we'll talk more about this. Have you ever seen those off-ramps for runaway trucks on a highway? You know those things going, yeah, you know why those exist? If a truck driver's on the brakes too much, the brakes get hot, then they fucking stop working. So this is a huge safety issue. In addition, a diesel truck can't regeneratively create new diesel energy as it's going downhill. But the Tesla Semi effectively does the same thing. All of the energy generated, braking, actually is used to recharge some of the battery. Not kidding. So you barely touch the brakes because you're not braking, you're using regenerative braking instead, which is recapturing that energy, slowing the vehicle without using your brakes at all. And then you have more charge. Try doing that with a diesel Semi. Oh, you can't. And Tesla pointing out that when you get to the bottom of a hill, you have cold brakes, which is a significant safety improvement. Again, hot brakes equals no longer working, equals killing people in your runaway vehicle. There's also obviously much better traction control versus a diesel engine. And as we know, Tesla automatically stops the truck from jackknifing, which is a nightmare scenario for anyone driving one of these things. Then, of course, there was a low-key jab at both Bill Gates and founder of Nikola Motors with their real truck. Elon pointing out, some people out there said it can't be done, so we just did it. And also Tesla pointing out they're going to post a whole video, an 8-hour trip, unedited, no jump cuts. A 500-mile trip in full on YouTube, just in case there's still some doubters and haters out there. Of course, there are haters and doubters out there, and they all do live in their mum's basement, and they're all currently furiously explaining why the Tesla Semi is a fraud because somebody on the internet told them it wouldn't be possible. Plus, also, hydrogen's better. Extremely aerodynamic as well. The quote there, a bullet, not a barn wall. Extremely efficient, less than 2 kilowatt hours per mile driven, which is insane. And again, this is a money printer. Tesla Semi, first 3 years of ownership, will approximately save $200,000+ US just in energy savings, as in diesel versus electricity. In other words, these things will pay for themselves within about 3 years flat. And then after that, hello, money printer? This is why this is such an important moment. It is immediately apparent to anyone whose brain works at any company that has a fleet of these vehicles, they must replace the entire fleet ASAP with a Tesla Semi. And why a Tesla Semi? Why not another electric truck? One, well, obviously the range, nothing even close to 500-mile range fully loaded. But secondly, and very importantly, is the efficiency of the powertrain. The less efficient the powertrain, the more energy consumed per mile, the more money it costs you to drive per mile. This really adds up in a commercial fleet. Of course, even a electric vehicle and a electric Semi is going to be much better than a diesel vehicle. But Tesla is the most efficient by far and has a 500-mile range. If you control the finances at a company that has a fleet of these vehicles and you do not immediately order as many as you can, all of them to replace your entire fleet, you should not have a job because you're a moron. The fleet savings on these things, even a very small fleet, you'll be saving millions of dollars per year. A larger fleet, tens of millions of dollars. A really large fleet, potentially hundreds of millions of dollars per year in cost savings. It is a literal no-brainer. We also heard it's easy to drive as a Model 3 with basically no training. You can drive it. Obviously, you have to be aware that it's much bigger, but other than that, you can literally just drive this thing. Not complicated at all. The same cannot be said of a diesel truck. And we have confirmation there'll be 1 megawatt plus DC charging. In other words, very fast charging for this absolutely monstrous piece of technology. And the big bombshell, The Cybertruck will also use V4 1 megawatt charging too. The earlier quote said other vehicles will use this. We only know about one of them, the Cybertruck. Wonder what else could be possibly using this. Something to consider. And then PepsiCo, by the way, mad respect to PepsiCo for figuring this shit out. They were the first customer that I'm aware of to make orders of this thing, immediately jumped on it. Huge round of applause to the CFO. That was a big brain decision back then. This means the company gets first dibs on the first production vehicles. Rightly so. Anyone could have seen this. Anyone could have understood the commercial realities and the financial implications. But it was PepsiCo that were all the over this thing from day one. The guys in Pepsi had a few words. The first of all, thanking the people who spent countless hours making the Tesla Semi a reality. They said they were thrilled. And of course, they also thanked Tesla for letting them be a part of this. So I just want to wrap this one up. Pretty short video, but there's some massive implications here. Here's a fact. As in, like, this is going to happen, and I'm going to say it as if it's already happened, because that is how confident I am. The wait times to take delivery of a Tesla Semi will far and away be the longest wait times of any of their products for years to come. Why? Again, going back to the commercial financial implications. Most people said this was impossible. Most companies were skeptical. There's no way an electric truck 500 miles, that's bullshit, no chance. And as I said, the chief financial officers at any company with a fleet of these vehicles, even if they've only got 5 or 1 or 2, will literally require brain damage. Not to go kick down the door of the CEO and go, listen motherfucker, we need to replace our entire diesel fleet with these Tesla Semis, ASAP, here's a spreadsheet, here's how much money it's going to save, and I would like my 10% bonus of those savings, thank you. There isn't a company on earth, except those whose CFO and or CEO or other executives calling the shots, literally have brain damage, who will not immediately be kicking down Tesla's door, ordering as many of these as they need to replace their entire fleet, immediately. Tesla will not be able to make anywhere near enough of these things, anywhere fast enough to meet the demand. In the US alone, there's only a few 100,000 of these things sold a year. Globally, I don't know, give or take maybe 1 million max. I don't know the numbers, just pulling it out of my ass. I expect, in the best case scenario, maybe Tesla's looking at doing about 50,000 of these things per year, maybe a little bit more. Maybe they get to 100 or 200,000 eventually. But here's the thing, there are many, many, many millions of diesel trucks on the roads. They all need to be replaced. And again, going back to the point of brain damage, anyone with a functional brain who's in charge of these decisions at any company on earth who knows how to use a calculator and has a brain and uses both of those things will deduce that they would literally need to be a moron not to buy as many of these things as they can. This isn't sexy. This isn't consumer facing. This is not a retail product. So this will fly mostly under the radar in my opinion, but it is an enormous moment in Tesla history, especially as it relates to their mission. Tesla will have such pricing power on this thing if they wanted to. They could probably triple the price that they're charging for the Tesla Semi and still sell every single one they make for years to come. They're not going to shaft customers that bad, but I'm just putting this on the record. You thought wait times of 6, 9, 12 plus months to take delivery of some Tesla vehicles in some regions on Earth were absurd? Just you wait until we find out how long the wait times are for Tesla Semi. Now they've actually done it and begun their first production deliveries. Oh, and given the fact that most people watching happen to own Tesla stock, you do understand the margins on this thing are going to be larger than your girlfriend, significantly so. Even if the margins were approximately the same in percentage terms as a Model S, 3 or Y, the purchase price is many times higher, meaning each one of these vehicles sold bring a significant pile of cash to Tesla's already absurd $20+ billion. So I think what I'm trying to say, ultimately Tesla Semi will sell millions and make billions. And a special congratulations to Elon Musk, who somehow miraculously managed to out Trevor. I don't know how you did it, Elon, but I'm very impressed. And lastly, don't forget to head over to Patreon, check out today's exclusive video, plus have a browse through the archive of over 230 others. There's something there for almost everyone, except snowflakes, professional victims, those infected by the woke mind virus. Wait, they're all the same thing. Yeah, anyway, see you on Patreon, if you can handle it. Love ya.